Two more minutes.
Sensation.
Get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, cause I'm here, they ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, cause I'm here, they ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
Alrighty. Oh, okay. We back, man. We back. Let's get everything situated. Let's get straight into the show. I got a lot to say today. Let's go.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube world, YouTube land? I am Jay Jones, and welcome to the live stream lineup.
You are watching a master at work.
It is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Man, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do a live stream. Schedule was getting kind of crazy, and I was doing a lot of traveling and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day I come on a live stream and talk to my people. I just pulled up the chat, and I didn't know I was getting love straight out the gate. So shout out to Johan, shout out to BX Mail. You know what I'm saying? Today it was almost like picking a fish out of a small pond today. You know, like how many topics I could talk about today. I mean, we got Tiffany Henyard over there in Dolton, Illinois. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all heard that. Joy Reid, Joy Reid got canned, you know what I'm saying? And then we got, what else we got? I mean, Trump handling the Ukraine thing. I hear, what's his name is coming to the United States on Friday to possibly sign a deal. And I'm like, sign something. Joe Biden never got him to sign nothing. So Zelensky, but that's not, I don't know if I'm going to cover that, but it's just so many things I'm going to talk about. What else we got? We got Dolton, Illinois. We got, Joy Reid. I want to talk about one thing about Trump's. I don't know if not a lot of people are talking about Trump's pardons are, right? Shout out to BX Mail in the building, right? It's a black woman who actually was in prison, and, Trump came out, but I thought he was such a racist, with the General CQ Brown, which I might touch on that, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, I'm telling y'all, it's so much, but I had to pick just a few topics. Um, Somebody talks about DEI, and I'm gonna see if we can get to it because he breaks it down really, really good. He breaks it down. He's a Kamala Harris supporter. His name is John Hope Bryant, and he talks basically about how DEI doesn't benefit black folks; it benefits white women. It's designed that way. It's more gender focused and an inclusive focus, and then black people kind of fall at the bottom of the list. He breaks it down in a very financial way, which I'm like, finally, financial and data to back it up, right? And I think that might be it. That might be it. This one little topic about something about Biden's family business dealings. It's on Pam Bondi's desk. We'll see. I for sure have not heard about that one. So that's gonna be fresh. But we're gonna see how the show goes, man. We're gonna see how the show goes. Like I said, there's so many topics to talk about right now. But let me read y'all comments, man, because y'all showed me love. Shout out to Johan. Here's the Jay Jones. I know love always. No, you ain't late. Actually, I was late. Man. But I had to get my kids situated and everything down here. Need to loop the intro music a little better. What you mean, man? What you mean I need to loop the intro? That's I had a better intro. I threw that one together some months ago. I thought that was pretty decent, but I'm always open to feedback. Dandelion head. I seen your comment there.
Sensational.
I seen your comment about the dandelion head. And that just had me rolling, man, because this lady, I call her Cisco. I said this lady looked like Cisco. I just thought about, should I run that segment or should I talk about it? There's a Facebook group out there called Women's Evolve or whatever? And they were so sad to see Joy Reid leave TV. I was thrown off that people were like, "Oh my gosh, Joy Reid, one of the best on TV. She's great. She's this and that." I said, "Joy Reid?" I said, "This lady is absolutely atrocious. She's the worst on network television." And people were like praising her, saying, "Thank you for keeping us informed and thank you for this and that." I said, "This lady is bad." But I said, well, there are some blind leading the blind type people out here. And I made a video and then I took it down. Not that it was bad, but I made it on the fly. Like I was in the office and I made it. And I was like, you know what, I could do a better job with, doing it on the live stream. So I just took it down. But people were literally on Facebook like praising Joy Reid. And I was like, man, they doing a bad job. Shout out to Roro. Roro says hit the like button on the way in.
Sensational.
The first one with the smoky black background. Yeah, that's I made that on Canva. I put that on Canva. Yeah, I did it on Canva. I mean, I can use a total overhaul as I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to slowly upgrade my stuff here, right? Next is gonna be some actual equipment, so things sound better and all that. So I'm slowly getting there, Johan. I'm slowly getting there. Coffee Grinder, shout out to you, man. In Joy's case, the blonde leading the blind, the blonde leading the blinds.
Sensational.
All right. Shout out to you, man. I actually was just about to start watching that video about the Ukraine. But I was about to come on the live stream. So I might check it out a little bit later now that I kind of see that the Ukraine war is possibly coming to an end. Or there's movement. I should say there's movement on the Ukraine war, which there has not been any movement on this war for 4 years. So, I already see what the left is trying to do about Trump. They're trying to call him a Russian asset, even though he's working on closing this war. So even when he closes the war, that's the new talking point. They're going to find something that he, didn't do, or they want to make something a bad idea once he ends the war. So 1 second. All right. Cool. But yeah, I could tell he was ready to start cooking on that video. But I mean, sometimes you need that. All right, y'all. I've kind of talked y'all up a little bit. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way inside. It's showtime, man. It's showtime. Listen, I think the first place we go start over in Chicago, or I should say Illinois, right? We go start over in Illinois. All right, hold on one second. All right, y'all give me 1 second. All right, so let's go over to Dolton. To Dolton. Yeah, we go over to Dolton because Tiffany Henyard, her run is about done. Done. All right, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. Let's see what's going over in Dolton.
Including Dolton embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard facing a challenge. Are voters ready for a change?
Dane Placco is live with a closer look at the race. Dane?
Yeah, we're at the Diekman Elementary School here in Dolton, which today is doubling as a polling place. And as a matter of fact, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard herself voted here just about a half hour ago. Now, we've been talking to some of the Dolton residents coming and going today to vote, most of whom, in fact, all of whom told us they're ready for a change.
I think it's over. You got to do something good with the power you get if you just throw it away.
Previous mayor, she ran into some challenges. She started out really strong and, you know, had a lot of support. But now the way the village is going, it's just time for a new direction.
Usually, but yeah.
These municipal elections are generally lightly attended, but we're told turnout has been very heavy here in Dolton, which has become the center of national attention because of its controversial and flamboyant Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who's also the subject of an ongoing federal investigation into spending, hiring, and contracts. An investigation by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot found the Ave Village millions of dollars in the red, with hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card expenditures that just could not be explained. Henyard was actually voted out of office a couple years ago in a recall election, but those results were overturned in court. Now, over the last few months, the village government has descended into chaos, with meetings being canceled or disrupted and little or no legislation getting approved. Henyard is being challenged by Dolton trustee Jason House, who told us a short time ago he's optimistic about becoming Dolton's next mayor.
What are you seeing on the ground today?
On the ground, we're seeing a good turnout of residents. People's voices will be heard at a higher level than it was before, and a lot of support. So we expect it. We expect the victory.
The Dolton dictator.
I think that people didn't give me a chance.
Oh.
I think that I was blindsided from the go. I came in 2021. And when I came in 2021, I was faced with a recall. So
Man, Tiff, if you don't get up out of here with that mess, you've been given a chance. You've been the mayor for that long. You've been screwing up that long. Oh my! Here we go with the excuses, boy. More Democrats, more excuses. That's for sure.
year, it was something else. Then they took me off the bank account. And then the next year was something else. So you never gave me the opportunity to continue to govern, and I want the opportunity to govern my town.
Now, Henyard is also claiming that there was election suppression.
So that's one part of Dolton, and I want to go over here because I think there was a fight that broke out.
2025, it is primary election night with several key races in the suburbs this evening.
But it's the race in South Suburban Dolton, a big shakeup there that's making big news tonight. Embattled Mayor.
Look at the numbers on that. She only got 12% of the vote. He got 87. Now listen, I've seen Jason House just in the meetings reading off all the crazy expenditures that this lady has approved, right? Like one of them was like Cooper's Hawk. They spent like thousands of dollars at Cooper's Hawk or whatever. But anyways, he got 87% of the vote. I don't know much about him. 87% of the vote. She got 12. Wow. That means they're tired of you. That's what this means. This means that they're tired of you. There's no close race. It's time to go. And you know what? It's good to see people waking up. It's good to see people waking up and not giving her another chance. But she was so bad. You know, a person that's just as bad is a person that's down the street, which is Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson is just as bad as her, but let's continue.
Tiffany Henyard has been defeated by challenger Jason House in the Democratic primary. House took 87% of the vote to Henyard's 12%.
House will now move on to the general election in April. Let's get right to our Regina Waldrop. She is live in Dolton tonight.
Listen to what she
with
says.
Reaction. Regina.
Allison, Stephan, we're monitoring this situation going on in here right now. It is a celebration happening, but a short time ago, some type of fight did break out right here that we are monitoring on a day that many say is a pivotal one for this community. They are escorting someone out we see here, but we do want to tell you that so many people told me they believe this is a new day for Dolton.
They in here fighting, bro.
Sensational.
They are in here fighting, dog. Some people are voting and some people are fighting. I'm telling you, Dolton sound like a place that you don't want to have your kids in. I'm sorry. All right. So let's break this down, right? That's a good question, Johan. I don't know if Jason is good. I've only seen him on the clips. I've only seen him, like I said, read off some of the things, that were bad. So I don't know if he's a good candidate or not, to be honest. I don't know much about him. Politically, I don't know much about him. So I don't know he might be better than her, but again, let's not be silly. As a voter, and you want to make sure you're not just voting blue because vote blue anywho. You want to make sure they're the right candidate. So who's the other candidate and what do they stand for? But Tiffany Henyard, the writing was on the wall for her. I don't even know how she got in there in the first place, but that's because majority of the people there, I'm not going to go race wise, but majority of the people there, which it's heavily black. I did the statistics last time. It was like 90% black. Voted for Tahoe Tiff. So I don't know if they just blindly voted her in just because she was Democrat, but hopefully they've learned their lesson from doing that. Hopefully they didn't just want a black woman in power because that's just something that made them feel good, because then she ruined their city. Isn't this something that's similar to the national election?
Wait a minute.
We didn't want a woman ruining the entire country based off of her values, her ideology, and her policies. We didn't want Kamala Harris screwing up the entire country. But in a city like Dolton, she screwed up the entire city, right? The entire city. Dolton is a small example of why we didn't want to elect Kamala Harris out there, Diddy-crats. This is exactly why we didn't want her in power. So anyways, I've been following the Tiffany Henyard story for a little while, right? I've been following her for a while, and I haven't been covering a whole lot because I'm like, it ain't really nothing to cover here. Ain't nothing really going on here. Like, I've been seeing little rumblings. I seen them fighting a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just a ghetto mess. And the only reason why I covered it was because Tiff's boyfriend got into a fight, and her old goofy self decided to jump into the fight. So just very, 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 very bad, right? BX Mail says her delusion is crazy. 12%, that's basically her family and friends. There's people out there still voting for her, though. How can I say this? Politics is I was going to say religion too, but politics is a funny thing because she's clearly not a good candidate. So who in the world would vote for her after all of this? The FBI has literally got an investigation open on her. Lori Lightfoot is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? She was just as bad, but now she trying to be on the good side to taking down old Tahoe Tiff. So that's the news over there in Dolton, Illinois, right? I know that people are getting at me in the comments. They say it's not ass, it's Illinois. This is it for her. Now, over in Thornton, I believe we covered a few weeks ago, the Black Caucus basically kicked her out, or the caucus kicked her out, so she's not running over there, and she's not running over in Dolton. Her reign is over. But this should come as a very important lesson to just voters in general. Please understand who you're voting for. Don't just vote for people because they're a Democrat or because they're a Republican. You got to understand what they're trying to do, what their policies are, right? Again, it's policies and politics. So this is important. And how are they going to help you and your family? That's what's important. It's not because she's a black woman. Like, what does that mean? Oh, I got a black woman as my mayor. Okay, great. What is she doing for you? Well, I don't really know, but she's a black woman. Come on, man. Stop playing this identity politics. That's an old school game. We done with that. We want people that are qualified and that can run the city. That's why people even in Chicago are kicking and screaming. Kicking and screaming. I know someone personally who absolutely can't stand what's going on in Chicago. Can't stand it what's going on in Chicago. When it comes to the migrants, can't stand it. And a lot of people can't stand it. But they got Brandon Johnson in there. And unfortunately, you know, he appears to be a good candidate in the beginning. But I think the lesson comes now that we see these people, what do they actually stand for and what their policies are? Sometimes you got to get your hand burnt to know that we can't go to that stove again while the freaking thing is hot. Just my opinion, you know. So let me get off that topic because that's it for Tiff. That's it for old Tahoe Tiff. Now Tiffany can go back to selling weave and doing nails. I look at politics like professional sports. We got teams, we got fans. Then we got commentators. Like me, right? Yeah, I'm a commentator all day. I'm cool with that. But yeah, man, this is Tiff, man. So I'm sure she's pretty much done. She doesn't have any power after this. Yeah, Mel. You know what, Mel, bro? You read my mind, big dog. I was like, man, should I cover this? And I was like, because it's kind of important. That's why I put Eric Adams on the thumbnail. BX Mail says they're finally closing the Roosevelt Hotel, tired of passing it, seeing migrants on their iPhones chilling. And I think you bring up a good point because I said, man, this is a good topic. And you know what? I actually forgot to throw it in here, but good thing is I'm gonna slide it right on in here because, and then I see Kathy Hochul, man. She's now she's trying to punish Eric Adams because he's working with ICE, you know, or Trump, whatever you want to say. He's working with ICE. I'm like, you see how politics becomes a dirty game? At this point, Mayor Eric Adams should just run as a Republican. Like once this is up, I know he said he's going to run as a Democrat again on the ticket. Bro, you might as well run as a Republican or an independent. Like, to be honest, or an independent, because the Democrat Party is not going to accept Mayor Eric Adams. He's not a part of the cool kids club anymore. He better just run as an independent. If I'm him and he doesn't want to just run Republican, cool. Just run as an independent because your party's not going to support you. You're going to be the redhead stepchild of the party. Let me type in Roosevelt Hotel Eric Adams. Yep, here we go. Let me let this roll up real quick, and we're gonna play it, man. All right. Let me find a better clip, a shorter clip. Excuse me, y'all. I got like this little freaking, I don't know, it's like a dry cough, man. All right. Let's get to it, man. Appreciate you, Mel. See, this is why I made you a moderator, man. Keep me on my P's and Q's, big dog. Let's talk about what's going on over in there in New York.
City's migrant facility at Manhattan's Roosevelt Hotel.
Since 2023, the Roosevelt Hotel has served as an arrival center for migrants seeking asylum in the city. Alan Devlin is live outside the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown. Alan?
Sydney and Mary, it's an iconic Midtown hotel that's been around for about 100 years. And like you just said, it's been serving as a center for asylum seekers for the past 2 years. The mayor came out this morning and announced that will happen no more. This hotel shutting down for good. The hotel first opened to migrants back in 2023 during the height of the migrant crisis back in that year, with the city receiving up to 4,000 migrants a week. We all remember these images you're looking at right now out of that year, showing the vast number of migrants awaiting.
Bro, this is what you got to see, Mel. They just be sitting outside behind a barricade. What? I mean, I know that they're all out there, but this is crazy, bro. They got a barricade between them. Vanderbilt, is that Vanderbilt Avenue?
We all remember these images you're looking at right now out of that year, showing the vast number of migrants awaiting their next step here at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Mel. There you go. So this is how you know my people don't be lying. He said they're finally closing the Roosevelt Hotel. Tired of passing them, seeing them on their iPhone. What is he doing right there? Sitting down, chilling, and with his little Jordan half-cut shirt on his iPhone. Look at that mess. Taking up all our tax money, chilling.
In total, about 232,000 migrants have entered the city seeking shelter, and the Roosevelt Hotel was the front door for about 75% of them, this according to city officials. Now, in a video message released here this morning, Mayor Adams looked to the future while touting the city's efforts to bring and keep the crisis under control in the last 2 years.
Now, thanks to our policies, we're down to an average of just 350 new arrivals each week. And while we're not done caring for those who came into our care, today marks another milestone in demonstrating the immense progress we have achieved in turning the corner on the unprecedented international humanitarian effort.
You heard it there, 4,000 down to about 350, says the mayor. Now, this all comes as Eric Adams remains at the center of a battle between New York City, New York State, and the White House, with some accusing the mayor of arranging a quid pro quo with the Trump administration to get his corruption charges dismissed in exchange for his cooperation with federal immigration enforcement here in New York City. Mayor Adams, however, strongly denies those claims. It is important to note that all of the activity, the facilities that were happening here at the Roosevelt Hotel over my shoulder.
Here's the thing before we get into this, right? You know what? First of all, if he's working with the federal government, right, and to stop a crisis, what is the problem with that? So the media, so the Democrats are trying to spin it like, oh my gosh, they dropped it because he's working with Trump. Well, he's trying to stop a crisis that is going on. So if he didn't work with Trump, then okay, what happens? What if he didn't work with Trump and his charges still got dropped? What would happen next? There was a guy that literally, he's a Democrat, that came up to me last week and was like, yeah, so you know what's going on with Mayor Eric Adams? You see that too? Like he was talking about politics for like 20 minutes. And then now all of a sudden, Eric Adams is the bad guy. I said, really? I guess anybody that doesn't follow the weird, woke Democrat agenda is the bad guy, including people on your own team. I said, man, the Democrats don't even understand what fight they're playing. They're just mad at everybody if they're not going on the same train as them. But anyways, he should be working with the federal government on this issue. There's nothing wrong with that. Fighting him is going to make him look dumb like Mayor Brandon Johnson. He's going to get booted on his next mayor race. He's getting called, to the Senate, all these guys. And I think you're right, Coffee Grinder, Eric Adams, Adam Bragg, mayor of Boston. And I thought it was a bunch of people that are going to get sent to Congress, right? And they got to answer for these sanctuary cities. He's like, you know what? I've already talked to Tom Homan. We're going to sit down. We had a talk. We're going to work together. Let's move forward. The American people want this. All right, so I'm off of that. He should be able to work with the administration. If they drop his charges, drop his charges. Like let the guy live, man. Y'all trying to say he's bribing? It's so much corruption going on right now. What Doge is finding? Come on, man. Everybody should be going to jail. Everybody should have silver bracelets on at this point. So to the story, I'm glad to finally see we got the Roosevelt Hotel closing. So round of applause for that. Right. I think that this is a good step in the right direction. Right? Because Mayor Eric Adams has cut off the food stamps. He did that basically back in November, like a couple weeks after Trump got elected. right? So you're cutting off the money, you're cutting off the supply, and then now you're cutting off the housing, right? Now I'm hoping that they don't get desperate and they start, robbing and doing breaking and entering and stuff like that. But this is going to force them to get out of that state at least, because there's going to be nothing there for them. And we need that, right? We need that. So yes, when I seen this come across, I was excited because I said, thank you. Work with the federal government. Just work with them. My goodness. I feel like in the end, when the dust settles, all the ones that didn't work with them, they're going to have a bad reputation when it comes to being a governor or a mayor. And a lot of their seats are going to be in jeopardy when it comes time to run again. At least he's working with them, right? So let me go ahead and get off. Let me get off that. All right. So BX Mill says, I love how the media downplays how Kamala was the last border czar. Yeah. According to them, there was no border czar. Like, if she wasn't the border czar, they never told us who was, right? They just said, oh, that's not a term. Meanwhile, Tom Homan is the border czar. Proud, standing up, doing his job. Did more than Kamala Harris did for 4 years in 1 month. Has anyone seen the Sox speech to the UE? No. It's interesting and revealing. I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. So let me go ahead and go to the next segment, man, because I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun on this one, man. So if any of you haven't seen my reaction to Joy Reid, I dropped it on Sunday and it was a legit reaction. I mean, I seen a video, then I stopped the video and I went on Google and I'm like, is this for real? I read the article and I was like, I got to see another one. And I was like, Joy Reid got fired. Her show was canceled. And I got on the live stream and I was excited. Because I can't, that lady is so racist, man. I don't care if you black, white, Hispanic, whatever. If you racist, right? And she said some racist things. She just said some racist things right after the election. Basically telling like white women don't call to black women for a Trump protest or something. And I get so tired. I was telling my wife yesterday, I was like, I'm so tired of talking about race, and it gets so exhausting to talk about this when there's so many other things we could talk about, and when real racism comes up, we can address it. But everybody wants to call out people, right? Like there's a situation, I got to talk like this. I had a talking code. There's a situation where someone basically posted something online. And it said, how, they appreciate how black men love black women, right? All right. It just said like, I love how black men, care for the black woman. He's a great father to black women, blah, blah, blah. It was just a whole post admiring black love, basically. And I was like, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. And she was contacted by another white woman, basically stating that white woman telling her how like she shouldn't be posting that. A Democrat woman calls this girl and says basically you shouldn't say that because like your mom was this and that and blah blah blah, meaning like she couldn't talk about it. And her mom was white and not a black woman. And it's like, and it was coming from a white woman calling this girl, telling her she couldn't talk about admiring black love. I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Just freaking weird. Just odd. Just odd. But anyways. Yeah. Ro, yes. Like, I think that I said this yesterday. like the white people that were supporting Black Lives Matter was just one of the weirdest things in the world. You know, it was like guilt. But, you know, whenever I hear like a white person trying to tell a mixed person or a black person basically like how they should feel, I guess, as a black person, it just, I don't know, it turns me off. Anyways, all right. So I want to talk about Joy Reid, and this is where I wanted to get to, because Joy Reid is an absolute, she's a troll bag. She's horrible at doing her job. She's racist. She's full of lies, and she does not tell, the same thing. She's full of lies, and she's extra dramatic, like extra dramatic. But listen to what Rachel Maddow had to say, right? Rachel Maddow might as well pack up her bags right now, because she's about to get out. She's about to get up out of there after she said this. Listen what Rachel Maddow says.
7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network.
Joy is not so joyful.
Ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. There is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague. It is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows. We've got as a colleague. It is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows.
Did she just call her job racist?
Sensation.
I mean, I don't want to look into it all the way, but that sounds like she's basically saying that her job just cut two non-white, black people, Hispanic. She's calling them racist. Do you think that that's a smart move for somebody getting paid from the corporation to call them racist on a national stage? Hell, on the stage that they give you? This is why race is annoying to talk about. Why are you talking about race after Joy Reid got fired? Because she was horrible. Her ratings were tanking. Her ratings were bad. They said she wasn't even having like 100,000 people watching her. Her ratings were horrible. It's some YouTubers that could do better than her. At 7 p.m. It has nothing to do with her skin color. But here we go again. The same station, the same party that wants to talk about black, DEI, and all these racial things, all of a sudden something happens. The first thing they say is, it's got to be because of race. It's not because of numbers. It's not because of fact. It's not because of job performance. It's not because of merit. It's because of race. It's insane, right? Rachel Geraldo Hair Maddow. She definitely looks like a dude every time I look at her. Johan says her show was called The Readout. LOL. Reid is out, right? She's out of there. Right? So I just don't think this was a smart move for her to actually say this. So again, I'm not surprised. Rachel Maddow was already, I think she had to take a cut or a time slot difference, something like that. She's on her way out the door as well. Right? Let's just keep it a bean. Rachel Maddow is talking like this because she knows that she's up out of there. She's probably the next one to get the cut. Right? So that's probably what's happening next. So, you know, I'm telling you, this was absolutely wild. When I seen her say this, I said, why in the world would she say something so stupid? But the whole entire station is built off of race. The whole party is built off of race. That's why they had Kamala Harris run as a woman of color, right? That's their new term. Instead of saying black woman, mixed woman, they wanted a woman of color to run. That's why they're doing that. Okay? This is why they're setting the whole stage for all this diversity, equity, and inclusion mess, but it's falling on their freaking heads every single time. Watch what I say. Rachel Maddow will be the next big cut. Watch what I tell you. What's going on, Ortis? The coffee grinder says Alicia Mendez, one of her replacements, is the daughter of Bob, the Gold Bar senator who just went to prison. Wonder what her political views are. I don't know who the Gold Bar senator is, but that's good information. I guess I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Because I was wondering who Alicia Mendez was. I've never heard of her, actually. Shout out to my man Ortis. He said, yeah, no problem. No problem, bro. As long as you join the show, that's all I care about. Joy's hairline should be a lesson to all you weave warriors. Woo! Took your smooth off, didn't it? No edges. Looking like hers looking almost as good as mine, boy. She got maybe a little bit more hair on there, just enough where you can see the color. But boy, she about looking like your boy Jay right now. Yeah, that's all that. Yeah, all that weave, all that pushing your hair back and losing them edges. Mm-hmm. Instead of just wearing your real hair, just wear your real hair. People love you who you are. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day. Now Maddow is on $25 million a year. She go 20.
Sensational.
$25 million. Joy Reid was 3 or something, right? Who was paying her $25 million? Bro. Man, where can I get my $25 million, man? My goodness. To do it, man. Pay the live stream, bro. I say the company so much money and get them views. All right, let me go and get up off this real quick. You say Tapper needs to get fired too? Jake Tapper? Bob Mendez, her corrupt dad. Bob Mendez. All right, I'm going to look him up. Next time I see her name come across, I'm going to look her up. Because, Joy Reid got cut, so I'm going to have to figure out who Alicia Mendez is. Because there ain't going to be no more Joy. Let's see. He said put some powder on put some powder on that shine before you do it again. What, I ain't got no... It's all right. It's healthy. I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to blind y'all, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I do this and I've been blinging. You know what I'm saying? All right. Keep it down. Keep it down. All right. So let's go to the next segment. All right. Rachel Maddow. She's so dumb. Now, this is something that the news is not talking about, right? And this is why we got to listen to the podcasts of the world, because the narratives of the media are so tired. They're so tired. One of the narratives that we're going to dispel for the 190,000th time is Trump being racist, right? And I want to cover this real quick. So here's that. Let me bring this up real quick. Here's that video. All right. And I want to bring up this picture. Now, before we get into this, I want to preface this by saying I'm going to talk about Trump's new pardon czar, and I want to talk about General C.Q. Brown. All right. And then we'll get into the segments. And what I want to cover from this is this. Number one, I want to show a picture of General C.Q. Brown, Donald Trump, and who is that right there? Right here. Who is this? It's Mike Pence. All right. So this picture dates itself because Mike Pence don't even mess with Trump no more. Trump appointed General C.Q. Brown in 2020. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So he appointed this guy in 2020, And so then he fired him in 2025. But the media is saying what? The media has got everybody in an uproar because they're like, oh my God, he fired General CQ Brown and he hired someone who was unqualified. Forget it. We're going to talk about it right now. We already knee deep in it. So I say to myself, well, how do you know that the person, I think his name is Raising Cane, how do you know that that person's not qualified? Right? Because the word is unqualified. I said, well, they said, well, he's a 3-star. Can you tell me what a 1-star does? How do you earn a star? What is a 1-star? And I'm sure if you're not in the military, you can't answer that question. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Regular civilians don't know what the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star is. Shut up, because you don't know what that means. So instead, in partaking in a conversation like this, maybe you should say, you know what? I don't know enough about this. I'm going to leave this one alone. He hired this guy in 2020. Was he racist when he hired him in 2020? I'm confused here. But all of a sudden, he fires him. The media goes in an uproar. Trump is racist. He removed General CQ Brown, which people didn't even know who this man was. And they got all up and they all got their stuff in a bunch. And now they want to call him a racist. And they're wrong. Because with a little bit of reading, and this is the whole thing when it comes to these Democrats. Listen, and even some Republicans, but mostly Democrats. Do a little bit of reading instead of reacting, and you will find out that some of this stuff that the left is throwing ain't even true. Or they omit information that makes you look stupid when you go and speak to someone who actually knows a little bit about the conversation or a little bit about the subject. It took me 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is exaggerating. That's like my internet speed just being super slow to find out, oh, he hired him. And when he hired him, he was the first black leading in the U.S. military. And yeah, they got terms and he cut him for whatever reason, right? My only guess is the reason why he cut CQ Brown was because he wanted someone who fit his agenda. Do I agree or disagree? I don't really have a stance on it because I don't really know a whole lot about what the Joint Chiefs of Staff does and what a 3-star and a 4-star does. I don't really know about it, but I can tell you this. The racist thing is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my gosh, don't even talk about this lady. Don't even mention, oh, Crockpot. I think I got her on here. But let's get into it, right? So, let me get into this real quick. Let me switch this up. I just got to talk about this, man. I got to talk about this because this right here got me a little hot. So, let's go.
In announcing Charles Brown's firing as chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff on social media, President Donald Trump called the Air Force general a fine gentleman and an outstanding leader. He gave no reason for the sacking. But Trump's Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has previously questioned if Brown was appointed to the top Pentagon job because he's African American. Hegseth has slashed diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives from the U.S. military.
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of Joint Chiefs. And
Brown greeted Hegseth on the secretary's first day at the Pentagon amid questions about whether Brown would be sacked.
Standing with him right now. Look forward to working with him.
Brown had been named by Trump to lead the Air Force during Trump's first term. Then in 2023, President Biden nominated Brown to head the Joint Chiefs. Now Trump wants to replace Brown with Dan Kane, a retired lieutenant general who's white. Kane would vault numerous higher-ranking generals to be the nation's highest-ranking.
I just sneeze, but bless you. But yeah, why do I have to say he's white? Why do I have to say that? Obviously, we can see what he is.
Military officer. He led U.S. Special Ops forces in Iraq against ISIL, winning Trump's praise by promising a quick path to victory.
Okay, General Raising Cane, how fast Sir, we can have it totally finished in 1 week. I said 1 week? I was told 2 years. 1 week. That's right, sir.
Democrats have labeled the Pentagon slashings as the Friday night massacre. Gone is not only the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, but 5 other top U.S. military leaders. Among them is Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to lead the U.S. Navy, and James Slight.
So, did y'all peep that? She also got canned as well. And I was going to talk about this.
Them is Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to lead the U.S. Navy, and James Slife, the Air Force's second in command, who had encouraged a critical look at institutional racism after the killing of George Floyd. In a statement, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee said the dismissals appear to be part of a broader, premeditated campaign by President Trump and Secretary Hegseth to purge talented officers for politically charged reasons, which would undermine the professionalism of our military and send a chilling message through the ranks. Trump has signaled the purge at the Pentagon is far from over. The Defense Department says it expects to reduce its civilian workforce by 50 to 70,000 employees to refocus on the president's priorities.
All right, cool. So now y'all got that, right? And so what I wanted to do, and I'm glad that they said it because this is where I was going to go. And I was going to say that Trump, this picture shows in 2020, him appointing him and him swearing in with his family. So is he a racist then? If he appoints him in 2020? I did bring this up to somebody that I admire and that I love. Right? I gotta preface this by saying this. And I seen the post come across because somebody was really angry and basically called him racist. And so I came on the post and I said, well, you know, I felt the way about it as well until I said, well, let me do some research. And I found out, oh, this is what happened. The reply back was, well, I don't give a dang about that. And I said to myself, I said, well, how can you not care about the fact that he basically hired him, right? Or appointed him? I mean, that is important. He didn't just become president and then just fire the Joint Chief of Staff because he was black. It is kind of an important detail to say that he also was a part of him swearing in. That was a big thing. So it is important. He didn't just come in and just say, hey, you know, that guy, I want him out of here. Like, and we all know that Trump knows how to tell the truth, and he will tell the truth about people, call them all type of names and give them nicknames. He called this guy a fine gentleman, and he actually showed him appreciation, right? He showed the guy appreciation. But they don't want to point that out. They'll wait for the next tweet from Donald Trump and say, look what he said about Zelensky. Look what he called him. But he called this guy a fine gentleman. He just didn't fit his agenda, is what my guess is. He's not racist when he appoints the first black person to lead the U.S. military. It's not racist when he hires him, is he? That's General C.Q. Brown. And that's what I wanted to cover because I think that this was a very, very important thing. And I said, you know what? The media has got people's minds warped. They've got them in a mind frenzy to where they are just waiting for what they say. And they are omitting information on purpose to get you emotionally charged up to believe this false story. These are false stories with no facts behind it other than the result is he fired him. Why did he fire him? And then again, you brought up a very great point here, Coffee Grinder. He says, if you have not worn a uniform, don't even think about saying if someone is qualified. Rank sometimes is not just given, right? I agree wholeheartedly where he says, if you have not worn a uniform, be quiet. You can't speak on military things if you haven't. And this is why talking politics gets really annoying because there's certain fields and certain things that some people just can't talk about. You can't talk about being in the military and being deployed if you're a civilian who's never served in the military. How can you say that this 3-star, which you don't even know how he got the stars, is not qualified like the 4-star? This is how dumb people can get when we start talking politics. And then when you ask them, okay, have you served in the military? And if they say no, then you hit them with the, okay, cool. So you tell me what duties or what accomplishments a 3-star general would have, different than a 4-star general. Well, I don't know, but he's not as qualified as him. How do you know who's qualified? There's people that you work with that have a higher rank than you. That don't mean that they're more qualified. I guarantee you can go to your job right now and find somebody who has a better position than you and say, yeah, you know what? They probably don't deserve to be there. Yeah, they wasn't as smart in this role, but I don't know how they got that role. But according to the job, they're qualified. These people are willing to go with any Trump deranged talking point there is out there. Any Trump deranged talking point, people are literally willing to just take it and say it because they're so full of hate when it comes to politics. They hate this man so bad. They still whining and crying over November 5th, 2024.
You are watching a master at work.
And that's just too bad. That's too bad. Y'all are mad at America. Meanwhile, America is asking for help and getting help from Trump. You guys are the minority, right? You Trump deranged folks are the minority. And so what happens with the minority, we look at y'all and say, we don't care about that. We got bigger fish to fry. And Trump won the election in a landslide. You know how delusional Democrats are? You know how delusional Democrats are? I promise you, I'm telling you a real story. Somebody last Saturday stopped me and we got into a debate. And I tried to play both sides just to kind of see what he was on. Because I like it's kind of like the 48 laws of power, right? I don't want to really let him know my hand. And I played the middle position with this political conversation. And I said, you know that Donald Trump won in a landslide. The guy said, no, he didn't. He won by 1 point something percent. I said, what? He said, no, Donald Trump won by 1 point something percent, right? And I said, no, he didn't. I said, bro, he won in a landslide. That's not a landslide. I said, he won the popular vote, the electoral college, and he swept all 7 swing states. And he kept saying that same point. He said it to me like 4 times in that particular conversation, in that segment. I said, you're so Trump deranged, you don't even understand the truth. You can't even comprehend the truth. The Democrats got spanked that day. Y'all tell me, I'm still waiting for y'all to tell me how racist Donald Trump is. I heard y'all say it for years. And we about to go right on over here too, to my segment on why I say Donald Trump isn't racist. Let me read y'all comments and then get into this next portion of why I say he's not racist. Because this point right here should be, I mean, it's already been out there, man. Everything that Donald Trump has done for black folks and just black people in general and even other groups of people. But that's not what they talk about. Let me read y'all comments. Yeah, said people get fired every day. People get fired every day. But all of a sudden, when it fits their narrative, they're like, oh, let's run this story. Like these people legit are looking for a story every week. And they're like, oh, black guy, Trump, fired, racist. Let's run it. They looking to run stories every day about this guy. They're going to get so burnt out, man. I'm telling you. Coffee Grinder says there are so many variables in achieving rank. Sometimes there is a tight window to advance. If you don't perform, you can also be demoted, sometimes faster than promotion. Didn't know that, right? I know a few people that were in the military, but I didn't know that. I said it before. Imagine, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Jasmine Crockett and Tiffany Henyard.
Wait a minute.
In 2028, hey, the way it's going, Jasmine Crockett might end up becoming the face of the Democratic Party. No joke. No joke. Black woman, right? That fits their DEI program. And guess what? She's horrible. Can you imagine? The thing about it is, it sounds like she can at least answer a question. If she was on the campaign trail answering questions the way she's been answering them, America would not like her. Because she's talking too black and too ghetto. All right. That's like Shanae and Wanda. Yeah, man. It's pretty bad. Kim Jong-un little rocket band. Yeah, like that's what he got names for people. He called CQ Brown. He said a fine gentleman. But I thought he calls people suckers and losers. I thought he calls our service people suckers and losers, though. Yeah. All right. I'm going to skim through it a little bit, though. 30 years of questioning the government. So comes. Someone comes along and challenges it. Democratic derangement. You know what? That's actually a good name for that. Democratic derangement. Yeah. Because, man, these folks are crazy. These folks are really nuts. All right. He basically scored 81 like Kobe. Did you see Jamel Hill was over celebrating? Did anyone see how mad Jamel Hill was over Trump celebrating Black History Month? Yeah, I reacted to the one clip of the guy calling Tiger Woods Blasian, because that's what he called himself. But yeah, I seen that, man. And she basically said it was an insult. She said it was an insult for Trump to celebrate Black History Month. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, wow. And you see what happens is like he then goes and he celebrates Black History Month, and then they make a story about how insulting it is. I'm like, okay. Like Trump in the Democratic media will never win. Never. He will never win. Here's a fun fact, right? Fun fact. Jamel Hill, not that it's a big deal. It's not really a big deal. But last year I seen Jamel Hill at a corned beef spot. Corned beef spot that I go to when I go on the west side of, listen, Oak Park. It's in Oak Park. So it's like west of Detroit. I seen Jamel Hill. I was like, oh, snap, that's Jamel Hill. But I didn't say nothing, you know. She was chilling. But, yeah, I seen Jamel Hill in person before. But I'm sure if she sees my clips now, she gonna go ham on me now, huh? I'm not a big fan of Jamel Hill's takes anymore. It just falls into the same, I'm going to be black and just be ultra black and not objective, you know. Stephen A, Joy Reid, bad hairline ticket. All right, let me get to this next segment, man. Y'all got me rolling. Oh, man, Joy Reid fired during Black History Month, right? Right? All right, so to end off this segment, right? Chloe. Zoe. Where's Chloe at? All right, make sure y'all. All right, kids. All right, so to end off this segment, Trump has appointed a pardon czar who happens to be a black woman.
You know, Alice was in prison for doing something that today probably wouldn't even be prosecuted. You've been an inspiration to people. And we're going to be listening to your recommendation on pardons. You're going to go over and you're going to be...
Meanwhile, this was at the Black History Month event that Trump just threw, and he's honoring a black woman. He honored a lot of people there, so let's just keep it a bean there, all right?
She's going to be my pardon czar, okay?
And he meant it, and he said it.
And you're going to find people just like you that should not have happened.
An incredible story gets even more incredible. President Trump appoints a woman he pardoned during his first term as his pardon czar. The announcement coming during a Black History Month event at the White House, and we are honored to have Alice Marie Johnson join us now. Alice, thank you for joining us from your wonderful town of Olive Branch, Tennessee. Let's look.
Wait.
Wait a minute.
I thought that he was a racist. I thought he didn't like black people. Oh, let me guess. She's the pardon czar. So you're going to try to tie it into her being over prison and black people and an insult or something. I thought he didn't like black people. Why did he hire her? Why did he say it on the Thursday? Why has he been working with her for years? He told her this years ago that she could do this. Telling y'all, man. Y'all stories don't make sense, man. Y'all got to go back to the drawing board, Democrats, and figure something else out because the racist card ain't working.
Back just for a moment at the Oval Office where you were pardoned. Watch.
She has been just so outstanding, and I'm so proud of you. And we're giving Alice a full pardon, and that means you can do whatever you want in life and just keep doing the great job you're doing.
Right.
Alice, this is an amazing day for you, and I imagine that you replayed that moment in your mind a lot. What does it mean for you now to be the pardon czar? What do you plan to do with that power?
Well, I plan to fulfill the trust that the president has placed in me. He's given me specific marching orders. And actually, Dana, from
I didn't even notice
I've been
this.
working on this
This
nonstop.
so she was in the Oval Office in 2020. Man.
Since my release, this is really a continuation of the work that I've already been doing. I've brought many pardon cases before the president in the past. And one thing I can say about President Trump, he was very interested in their families. He wanted to know if they have a solid reentry program in place. I wanted to make sure that I brought him the best candidates, because what is happening in this nation is really sending a message to the world that we care about the least of his people.
Alice, since you hear from a lot of people and you look at all of these cases, in your minds, what are the couple of things that really make for a solid reentry plan?
Well, I have to make sure that the communities are ready to receive them. My number one thing in recommendations is safety in the communities. I want to make sure that they have jobs that they're ready to go home to, that they have the ability, not only for a second chance, Dana, but for their best chance of success. And then it takes follow-up, because I don't want to help people come home and then at the same time they're set up for failure. We'll be making sure that we check in with them, not in concert with probation, not to catch them doing something wrong, but to make sure that they have things that will help them make right decisions.
I just wanted to play a little bit of this because and let her speak a little bit, because I've never heard of the pardon czar. But here's the thing, though. And again, right, Ortis, I thought that Trump was such a racist person. Racist people don't want to have a black person anywhere near them. They don't want them working for them. This, you know what? The Trump racist narrative gets killed every single time. Because even if you want to believe it, all you got to do is look around a little bit and see that, okay, he is bigging up Byron Donald to be the next Florida governor. He's got Tim Scott in his corner. Okay. He's got the pardon czar there. Okay. If we want to go back in the day, there's so many stories of him helping other people that were black and of other, cultures or whatever. I'm like, I think y'all need to put that narrative down. But see, this is the thing, right? And Mail has said it, right? Where I'm trying to find your comment right here. He says, watch them break down how she's not black enough for them, right? Meaning black folks. But not black enough will be the narrative. It'll be the narrative to try to break down the fact that, Trump hired her and, she really ain't black enough, or she's married to a white guy, or she's got this and that. Like, it'll be something there for them to try to disqualify Trump from hiring a black woman. So my whole thing is the race thing is low-hanging fruit. It's I've said this before on this channel. The reason why a lot of black people pull a race card is because it's the easiest thing for us to say to you that someone else can say, oh my gosh, are they? With little to no evidence. And it makes you look bad. Because now you have to defend why you're not racist or what you said wasn't racist. And even if you didn't say something racist, if I felt that you did something racist, I can then tell that to someone else and now they think you're a racist. It's low-hanging fruit, and it's a way to disqualify you and make you feel the hurt that I feel, even though I might not have been qualified or didn't deserve a certain position or walked in somewhere and I was the problem, but I want to make you feel bad. So I'll throw out the racist card and it's easy. Because I can get a bunch of people to do it. And if I keep saying, oh man, that's a racist store. Man, them people in there racist. Or you go in that restaurant, they racist, they racist, they racist. And what'll happen? What'll happen, Mel? Somebody will say, hey man, you been to, Manhattan? Oh man, I hear it's racist up there. Well, what you mean? Somebody done heard from somebody else that done heard from somebody else, and they're like, yeah, it's kind of racist up there. Oh, yeah, maybe it is racist up there. Maybe we'll go somewhere else. It creates a bad stain because no one wants to get hit with that. And once you get hit with it, it's bad. So it's easy for black people to say, Trump is a racist. Trump is racist. Because now you got to keep defending on why you're not racist. And he may not be racist at all. I don't think he is at all. But how do you actually stop that? So what Trump is doing is he's living life. He's doing what he's doing. He's hiring people who he wants to hire. And he's hiring black people. He's hiring women. He's hiring anybody that's qualified. Marco Rubio, if I'm not mistaken, is Colombian or Cuban, something like that, right? So he has no problem with anyone who's qualified. Talking about race is one of the most low IQ conversations you can have with people because they only want to talk about race because they don't know how to talk about the real problems. So when the first time somebody black start talking to me, yeah, they racist, man, I don't understand this and that. And I want to see them validate their point. And when I can say, well, why is that person in the company? Why does that person that's black or that's a black woman, why are they also in the company in a position or something? What is it that you're not doing? Meanwhile, Trump has hired a pardon czar. You can break down the title all you want to and say she was a criminal and Trump's a criminal, whatever. He hired a black woman to run that department. He felt that she provided value. So right now, I'm still waiting for you guys to tell me how Trump is a racist.
You are watching a master at work.
All right. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Let me text this person back. All right. So, I see y'all comments. I want to get to the next segment real quick. Where we at? Check the time. Yeah, we're doing pretty smooth. I want to talk about this real quick. So, should I, Coffee Grinder says, should I have been Joe Brown? I'm using rented fingers today. I waited 3 minutes. Equals racist MAGA supporters. We have a president who's paying attention and they don't like that anymore. Yeah. All right. So listen, man. I appreciate everybody else on the live stream, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way inside. All right.
You are watching a master at work.
Trump. And I'm watching this with both my eyes open. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So here's where we are, right? Ukraine is about to come to the White House on Friday.
Sensational.
To sign a minerals deal, from what I was told. And it sounds like there's some action being taken to end this war in Russia and Ukraine. Trump has been in office. It hasn't been 2 months yet. I'm still going to say a month. I mean, it's a month and a couple days. And he said that when he was elected, he's going to get this thing settled as soon as possible. There's been more movement on ending this war than all 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So whenever this thing started, it's been going on for 3 years, this war. No movement for 3 years. Just Joe Biden throwing out a bunch of money. Trump is talking about getting money back. And that's a problem to the Democrats, of course. Not to the people that make sense. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Please chime in on this too, man, because again, I'm learning a little bit as we go along about what's going on with Ukraine.
President in Ukraine, would you provide military support
Speed this up a little bit.
in the future under a peace agreement?
Say it again louder.
Would you provide military support for Ukraine in the future as part
You mean
of
like
the peace
security?
agreement? Yeah.
Well, people are going to do it. I think Europe will largely be responsible for that. European countries will be responsible.
But Macron asked for a U.S. backup.
Well, we'll see. I mean, right now we're just in the process of negotiating. We've pretty much negotiated our deal on raw earth and various other things. We'll be looking at that security. You're talking about general security for Ukraine later on. I don't think that's going to be a problem. There are a lot of people that want to do it. And I spoke with Russia about it. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. So I think they understand. They're not going back in. Once we do this, they're not going back in.
So on that gold card, aircraft, wouldn't the U.S. provide, for instance, air defense?
Well, I just told you. Right now, we're not providing anything. You know, it's about Europe, too. Europe put in $100 billion, and we put in $350 billion. It's not a fair thing. You know, we would normally say, and I say it now anyway, but we want equalization. They should put up actually more money than us because they're right there. We have an ocean in between. But we've had very good talks with Russia. We've had very good talks with Ukraine, and we think it maybe will come to an end and we'll stop killing young people all over the battlefield and elsewhere.
On Europe, so do you plan to maintain heavy military presence in Europe in the long term, like tens of thousands of troops?
We'll be involved. Yeah, we'll be involved in Europe. We're involved in Europe now. Europe is our friend. They took advantage of us on trade. We don't like that. What the EU does, we don't like that. But we'll solve that the old-fashioned way. We'll give them the same reciprocal numbers. You know, we're talking about a reciprocal tax. You know that. And if they charge us, we charge them. Right now, they charge us much, much more than we charge them. And they have non-monetary taxes also and tariffs. And we're going to change that. It's all changing. It's all changing. We're not going to be the people that we were. We had people in this office sitting right at this desk or another model of this desk. Because, as you know, the other desk is right now being refurbished.
So this is what I can appreciate about Trump.
Sensational.
Right? And I think that as much as people hate Trump's presidential style, which is he's on TV a lot, okay? He's got a lot of press conferences. He holds a lot of these interviews, which is fine. One thing that it does, it not only just shows a little bit of transparency, but it shows you that he's working on something. And while you see things moving, like Zelensky coming to sign a deal on Friday, Trump's talking about it, you're actually seeing that, oh, this guy's actually working, right? This is why he probably wants people that are working in the federal government to be working, because it starts at the top, the leadership. He's like, you can see him working on this, talking about this. Sometimes he says, hey, I can't talk about that right now. We're in active negotiation. Okay, cool. Then he talks about it. Hey, we could talk about this and that. I can appreciate the fact that he's actually saying, I got some news, or I don't have any news. But you're talking to me, I'm talking to you, and I'm letting you know we're doing something about it. Some people will say, Trump's up there lying again. Other people will say, I appreciate the transparency.
Sensational.
You know what I say? I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate the fact that he's willing to get in front of the camera. He can mess up. He can say anything. He's going to say something silly at one point if he's always on the camera for 4 years. Sure, whatever. But he doesn't care about that. He's willing to share with the American people, this is what's going on. Because for 4 years, we did not have that. We didn't even know we had a president. We knew he wasn't running the country, and they purposely did not let him speak because he didn't know what he was actually talking about. The man had to be rehearsed. So Trump gets up there and he tells you exactly what he mean, what he's thinking, what he says. He just comes out and says, this is what is going on. I'm going to say this right here on the live stream.
Sensational.
Right?
You are watching a master at work.
I believe this war will end. If Trump ends this war and there's no more soldiers going at each other in Ukraine and Russia, I don't want to hear anything else from a Democrat. I don't want to hear anything else from a Democrat. Right? I will give Trump even more credit for saying that he was going to end this war. It would have never happened under him had he been president. And then if he ends this war as quickly as he has, that is going to show dominance, that people listen to Trump. And there's got to be a reason for that. And they did not listen to Joe Biden when he was in the same position as Trump. Why didn't they not listen to Trump? I mean, why didn't they not listen to Biden, but they're listening to Trump? Why, after Trump got just elected, did we start hearing rumblings that Putin wants to end the war? All of a sudden, I'm not going to believe in a coincidence that all of a sudden he was ready to end the war. No, he's seen Trump won, and he knows how tough Trump is to deal with. Putin is a lunatic, but he also understands that Trump is a bit unpredictable himself. And you see how he just strung Zelensky, got him right in line. Zelensky's not a problem. He's not sending any money over to Zelensky. He's not sending any money over to Zelensky. Joe Biden was, here you go. Come to the White House. Hey, how you doing? Here you go. Not even wanting to talk about how to end the war. Just giving out money. That's why Zelensky was coming to the White House every time. Why not? I would come too. If I know you about to send out hundreds of millions of dollars every time I come to see you, I clock in for work every single time. If I told you your job was to clock in and just sit for 8 hours a day and get paid, everybody would sign up for that. Zelensky said, oh, this is going to be easy work. I go see President Biden and I come back with money. Don't worry. We just go. We don't even know why we go. We just go and he sent money. We just go. We go say hi. He sent $200 million. Trump said, man, I'm not sending them guys $1. And he didn't. So that's what I can appreciate about Trump, man. So I can't wait to see this war end. Order says, at the end of the day, Trump is a businessman.
Sensational.
Absolutely.
You are watching a master at work.
Putin does not trust Trump, which works in Trump's favor. Yeah, you have to be unpredictable when you're dealing with a man like that, man. Yes. Come on, man. Why do you think that Putin endorsed Kamala Harris? Come on now. I know we got short memories. I know a lot happens in politics, and I know Trump been literally had a bulldozer since he came in on January 20th, just taking out the garbage. But why do you think that Putin endorsed Kamala Harris now that you see Trump in office and they're talking about ending the war? So he can continue being a kid and shooting bombs at Ukraine and having this war and to try to take over this land. I mean, it's not a coincidence, right? And Democrats will say it's a coincidence because that's part of their talking point. That literally, Joe Biden getting in, the war starts under him. And then when Trump gets in, if he ends this war, within a short amount of time, the war is ended under Trump. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Let me see. So this is gonna be the last segment of the show, and the reason why I was thinking about, I didn't know if I was really going to cover it, but Johan said it, and I had it queued up right here. So he calls it the Biden crime family. And I just seen this clip, and I have not seen this clip. I just seen it come across, and the title says Biden's family business dealings debacle in Pam Bondi's court. So I want to see what this is about. Because I think it's a matter of time until Joe Biden and his cronies go down.
The chair of the House Oversight Committee, Congressman James Conant, joining us this morning. Congressman, you've been investigating the Biden family business dealings for more than 2 years. What are the chances of holding them accountable despite Biden pardoning his family members?
Well, I personally don't think the pardons would hold up in court. I mean, I would hate to be the attorney who would have to argue how a president can legally pardon his entire family preemptively for an 11-year period. I mean, that's not going to fly anywhere. But at the end of the day, the ball is in Pam Bondi's court. Look, we did the investigation. We proved the Biden family took tens of millions of dollars from our adversaries around the world. Joe Biden lied about it. He knew about it. He met with every single person, even though he said he never met with any of them. And then we know, according to the IRS whistleblowers, the Biden family never paid a penny of taxes on that $35 million. So I think there's a pretty strong case for the Trump Department of Justice if they choose to go there.
Do you know whether or not President Trump is on board with pursuing the Biden family?
I have no idea. I think that's a question you'll have to ask him. I support whatever decision Donald Trump makes. The most important thing in our investigation was that the American people learned the truth. They realized that the mainstream media was being dishonest when they were attacking our investigation and defending the Bidens. When Joe Biden pardoned his entire family, that was an admission of guilt, and it's an admission of a crime that I think is the biggest political scandal in our nation's history.
Got it. Next one, Congressman. We've had this on just a few moments ago. You know what's coming. The oversight hearing yesterday turned fiery after you threatened to remove forcibly your Democrat colleague, Maxwell Frost. Let's recap.
All right, so let's see what's going to happen with this, right? So he's saying that basically, hey, man, we've done the evidence. We've done the hearings. It's up to Pam Bondi to pick this up. I know we got a light crowd today, but drop a 1 in the chat if you think that Pam Bondi is going to pick this up, and a 2 in the chat if you think that Pam Bondi will pass on trying to go after the Bidens. All right. Ortis says they were pardoned. Yay. What can get them for? Coffee Grinder believes that Pam Bondi will pick this up. You know, I think that I do think that let me think this logically for like a few seconds. So I do think that Trump is going to go after Joe Biden. When I think about it, and definitely if it's easy to prove. So I do think Pam Bondi will pick this up. I think Pam Bondi will have a strong case. And I think that the Bidens will get exposed. I think there's going to be people that are going to come out and start talking on behalf of the Biden crime family and the dealings that they were a part of. I think there's going to be a lot of squealing going on, in my opinion. Right? Once the probe comes over to the Bidens and they know that they're getting them, I think Trump is going to play chess with Joe Biden. I think he is. And I think the reason why, I think Trump wants to make sure that people understand that he wasn't just making up the Hunter laptop story. He wasn't just making up the fact that Biden is corrupt. I think now, and see, this is where I got to say, now Trump is way more sharp. He's way more, his moves are way better this time around. And I think that he's lining them up right. I think he's lining up the Biden crime family. And I think Pam Bondi, or I don't know if Kash Patel plays a part in this, but Pam Bondi is going to present a great case to expose the Biden crime family. The pardons are already there. I mean, the work is already there if you think about it, right? He pardons his family on the very last day of his presidency. He did it, and Trump was getting inaugurated. He said, I didn't even know that he did that. admission of guilt, pardons his son for 11 years, admission of guilt. What he was doing as vice president with the influence peddling, he's guilty on that. He's got a lot of dirt around him. I think she should pick it up, but I don't think she should do it just yet. I think that she's got some other things to handle on her plate, but I do think she was going to pick it up, in my opinion. Mel says that Joe's going to play like his dementia set in when the allegations come down. Absolutely.
Sensational.
I mean, he's already there. Joe Biden will play dumb, right? Like that one mobster. Remember that one mobster in New York, Chin Gigante, who wore the robe and act like he was crazy. Won't be surprised if you see Joe Biden in full dementia mode, but everybody else is going to go down. Oh, everybody else is going to go down. Right? You're going to see how selfish people really are. They may have committed crimes that they did not commit, yet pardoned for. Yeah, why give them a pardon if they didn't do any crimes? I don't need a pardon if I didn't do nothing wrong. I don't care who's coming in office. I didn't do nothing wrong. Once this is all said and done, man, we're going to find out that Joe Biden, number one, had the most corrupt administration we've ever had and the most corrupt family that we've ever had. I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to Joe Biden being the most corrupt president that we've ever had. He's going to make Nixon look like a saint. He's going to make Nixon look like a saint. So that's my show, y'all. That's my show. That's my show, right? Y'all made me throw in Eric Adams in there and some other stuff, man. But you know, that's my show. That's my show. So yeah, man. My next live stream, I might run one on a Saturday. I might run Saturday show. Tomorrow I'm gonna be pretty busy. Friday depends. It all depends. It'll be a late night show though. But I'm definitely gonna run one on a Saturday. So be tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, I'm happy with where America's going. I seen someone made a post. I wonder if they responded back. I don't know if I'm guessing she was on the left, but she made a post that said, "For the people that voted red, you know, do you regret your vote?" And let me see. Looks like she might have deleted my comment or whatever, but let me see what this person just said. Doge is getting out of hand. Somebody, he's deranged. My wife just asked me to email her by midnight listing 5 things I did around the house last week. It's kind of funny though, actually. I didn't want to cover that either. The whole like the email thing, because people are just tripping on about dumb stuff, man. I think Elon Musk is trying to just find out and I feel like he's trying to create software to like really find out about, how to make the government more efficient. I feel like he's creating software around trying to create those efficient ways the government can run. But people are just tripping out. I mean, they're tripping out over an email. You know what I'm saying? Like, these folks don't have nothing to talk about. So I ain't want to talk about it because I'm like, he's just asking people to respond to an email. You know what I'm saying? We got to do it on our job. If they say action required, first, second notice, we got to respond. We got to respond. Like, what are we talking about here? Just respond to the email. Like, it's going to take you, 5 minutes? It was 5 questions? It ain't got me nothing that detailed. And then they talking about they got people in departments telling them, don't send the email. Why not? Just an email. But that's why I was like, man, some of these conversations are just getting super petty. But I'm going to get up off this thing, man. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you, Coffee Grinder. Thank you, Mel. Appreciate you, Ordis. Everybody else that's on the chat. Appreciate all y'all, man. Until next time, let me get up out of here. Right? Let's go. Like I say, after every video. This is chess, not checkers. I'm going to see y'all at work 2 times. See ya.
You are watching a master at work.
I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and they ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and they ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.